Storytime video
Alright.
about Cheyenne and her ex.
So my ex, we'll call him Jake. We dated for 10 months. Crazy stuff. He was on the basketball team for his school, and basically he just saw me and thought I was cute, and then waited for my best friend at the time to like say my name, and then he followed me on Instagram.
What a creep.
And he added me on Snapchat, and like I had him on Snapchat for like 3 months before he finally messaged me.
Speak the fact that he had a girlfriend at the time.
I didn't know that though. And then we started talking and we were like flirting and stuff, like normal. And then my best friend at the time, let's call her Amelia.
Oh, that's a nice name.
Amelia. She said that she was pretty sure that he was still dating his ex, this other girl, Julia. Call her Julia. We're making a YouTube video, Mom. What are you doing? And then I asked him about it, and he said that they broke up.
When they didn't?
They didn't. And then I was talking to my friend, Kira. I was telling her about him, and she said that she was pretty sure that he was still dating Julia. And I said, no, he said this. And then she was like, oh, well, they're always hanging out in the halls and stuff. And I was like, oh. And I asked him about that, and he said that they were just close friends. And I just kind of like ignored it. Because I was like, okay, like some
Get into
exes
the juicy stuff.
are close friends. And then Amelia, she texted Julia and asked if her and Jake were still together, and she said, yeah, why is everyone asking me that?
Because Jake is going around telling everyone that they broke up.
Yeah, but he didn't actually like break up with her to her face, so right off the bat that was really disrespectful. And like, I didn't rate that, but like, I ignored it. After that, I didn't talk to him for like 2 weeks. Like, we talked, but we didn't like flirt anymore. And then it was really hard because I already caught feelings for him. And then he came to my soccer game. That's the first time we hung out. He came to my soccer game. Then he came over to my house. We just hung out. And we started hanging out more. And then March 8th, 2018, he asked me to be his girlfriend. And I said yeah. And then in the beginning, it was really good. And like our relationship, like, it was really good. Like, I really liked him. After like 2 months, 3 months, he told me that he loved me. And I didn't say it back right away. Cause like, no. 3 weeks after that, him saying that he loved me, like, pretty much every time we hung out, every time he left, I said it back. We were good for like another month, so that would have been like 4 months, like 4.5 months. And then he started lying about everything. Like, it would be stupid stuff, like going to hang out with his friends, and one of his friends was also one of my really close friends. But he would still lie about going to hang out with him. But he got caught every time because he's not slick. I would always get mad about him talking to girls because like, he can't expect me to trust him when he cheated on his ex with me. Like, you can't just expect me to trust you. And then plus all the lying, I just stopped caring. And like, I didn't care who he talked to anymore. I didn't care what he did. Because like, I was over it at that point. When I stopped caring, our relationship got really good. And like, he actually stopped lying and hiding stuff. Except for the fact that he turned his post notifications off for Snapchat. But like, I already didn't care. And then this one thing happened, okay? He told me he was going to sleep over at his friend Luke's house.
Luke.
And I said, okay, like, whatever, like, I don't care. I don't care. we were going to my soccer game. His friend Jared messaged him and he asked me to open it. And Jared had said, "Hey, how are you getting to the party?" I look at him, I'm like, "What party?" And he's like, "No one's party, no one's party." And then I was like, "No one's party at Luke's house?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "So it's Luke's party?" And he said, "No, yeah."
No, yeah.
It went on like that for a while, like for like half an hour, me trying to get it out of him, and eventually he was just like, "Okay, it's my friend's birthday party. But don't worry, there aren't gonna be any girls there, right?" But like already I didn't care. Like if he had just told me, like, "Oh, like it's a party with just people from my school," I wouldn't have cared off the bat. Like I wouldn't, like, the people at his school, they mess with dogs, bro. Like, he Snapchatted me when he got there. I wanted to stay awake until he got home because he had told me he was gonna go home at 12. So I wanted to stay awake to make sure he got home okay. And since he told me there wasn't gonna be any girls there, I like trusted him on his word. I didn't really care, but like I trusted him on his word. And he Snapchatted me and there was clearly a Caucasian blonde female in the back of the picture. And I think he forgot that I had people from his school on Snapchat, so I could see that he was with all these girls.
Luke is not Caucasian.
Luke is like Arab. And he tried to say it was Luke, but like it clearly wasn't Luke. And I got really mad about that. I called Jai. I was like crying all night. And then, but what really made me mad was he drove there and it was 12 o'clock and he said, "Okay, I'm going to pick up Luke now." And then the next day, I was like chilling and I was like, honestly, like, why was I even mad? Like, I didn't care. When I really thought about it, I didn't care. But then he told me that he had been smoking marijuana. The weed. That good kush. And he was driving. So like, immediately my first reaction was like, what would you have done if you would have gone in an accident and killed one of your friends or yourself? Like, if you died, you would have been dead. If you died, you would have been dead. You've been put in jail for manslaughter. After that, I just stopped caring about everything. Like, it wasn't even just girls and like his friend anymore. I just stopped caring about everything. Like, obviously I still cared about him, just it was different. That time came around. It was our 10 months, January 8th.
Exactly on 10 months.
Exactly on 10 months. And at the end of the night, we got in a fight. So I tried to FaceTime him because we didn't spend the day together since I was
This is so stupid.
scorekeeping. So I tried to FaceTime him when I got home and he declined it right away. And I was like, okay, because he never declines my FaceTimes.
Want some water?
Yeah. And he said, "Just give me a second." And I was like,
This is so dumb.
I was like, okay. And then, as a joke, I was like, "You gotta hang up on your sides first," and like all that stuff. And then we fought because then he tried to FaceTime me back and I declined it and he got mad. And then we started fighting. And then he ignored me. And then someone had told me
No.
to pretend to break up with him to get his attention. So that's what I did.
That's what I would have done.
But immediately after, I said I was kidding. Like, I just like, because I got really scared. So I was like, "No, I'm kidding, I'm kidding." Right? And I was like, "I'm just trying to get your attention because you're ignoring me." And he said, "Fine." And then I had to spam him for him to message me back once. And then eventually he was like, "I don't want to talk anymore." But I didn't know what that meant.
It was obviously, like, you saying that was not the reason why you guys ended.
Yeah, it wasn't. He tried to say that it's what pushed him to the edge, though. But yeah, he said he didn't want to talk anymore, but I didn't know what that meant, and I didn't know how to take it. So the next morning I messaged him, I'm like, "Good morning," like, just like normal. and he wouldn't answer me. So I went to school, I was crying, I was calling my mom, like I wanted to go home. Then Juju and Lara were saying, they're like, no, like you guys aren't done. He's definitely just mad. Like he's just mad. So I was like, yeah, he's just mad. It's okay, he's just mad. And then the next day we actually had plans to hang out. So after school I went to his house, I knocked on his door, and he didn't answer. But like I could see all his stuff was there, so he was there, and he just wasn't answering the door. So I left, and he messaged me, and he was like freaking out at me because apparently I went in his house, like. And then I finally got him to start talking about it, and he said it wasn't me, that it was his mental issues, and like juggling school and a relationship was just like getting too much for him. So like I could understand that just because like I know how he is, but he said he had been feeling that way since October.
When was this though?
January. So I got really mad about that because I know for a fact that in that time period between October and January, I had asked him multiple times if we were good, how he was feeling, like if anything was wrong, and every single time he said we were good and that nothing was wrong and there's nothing to talk about, like we're good, instead of talking to me about it. But he's an immature person in general, like he's a child.
Sorry, not sorry.
Like, it's the truth. That's Magira. I said, this part almost made Jillian cry.
But you'll speak her name.
I told him to please come back to me when he's ready. Those were my exact words.
This is gonna make me cry.
He didn't answer me again after that on text. But we kept Snapchatting. We just kept Snapchatting, and I think it was at the end of the week. I think it was on a Friday. A girl Snapchatted me off of his phone. I'm not gonna name this girl, just know that she's a dyke. And I got really hurt about that. And I left class crying.
Cause like he doesn't let you touch his phone.
He wouldn't let me touch his phone, and in order for her to have Snapchatted me, he had to have let her on his phone. And I R-bombed it, and he Snapchatted me later on while I was scorekeeping. And later on when I was scorekeeping, he asked why I R-bombed, and I said, because that stuff you pulled with was rude. It was a dick move. And then he said, immediately, if you're watching this, immediately after, even when we were broken up, he said, is such a bitch. I hate her. I freaked out at her because she did that. I didn't want her to do that. And that whole week was just a really bad week. From like the day that we broke up, which was a Tuesday, to the Friday. I got 2.5 hours of sleep that whole week because I kept waking up crying, so I didn't want to sleep, and I couldn't eat anything, and I was throwing up like day and night and all the time. I was crying at school a lot, non-stop crying at school. It was horrible. And it just so happens that we were talking about relationships in gym while this was happening. So that made me cry even more.
I remember that.
And then my old best friend was trying to get Juju to tell her why I was crying when it was none of her business. We're not friends. After that, he said, I'm just gonna give you some space. Haven't talked to him since. He is 17, his new girlfriend is 14. And looks like Dora. So I feel bad for her.
She's so like, she seems so innocent. Like she
seems
know.
really young. She doesn't know.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
if she happens to end up watching this video, just know he gets physical. And very verbal. That's a different video.
That's basically it.
Yeah. Moral of the story?
Moral of the story? Leave the first time something happens.
Yeah. As soon as they start to disrespect you and you just feel like you can't trust them, leave. Because it hurts in the end.
Oh my God. So this is our second video.
What the fuck did you just say?
So this was our second video.
Thanks for watching.
Peace. You don't faze me.